So thanks for doing this. It's nice to see you. It's been a little while, and also thank you for your. I'm not going to tell folks the DMs, but you were very supportive during a difficult time.
Yeah, well, I think we all can appreciate we've either had firsthand experience or we know somebody directly who has been, a good soldier.
Yeah.
For a company, and then all of a sudden those interests were no longer aligned, and all of a sudden it's a David versus Goliath sort of situation. So anybody who stands up for themselves and does so publicly in the face of a big company coming down on them deserves the support that they can get.
Well, I appreciate that. You have, we've known each other for a while. You have lived your life in the public eye. People see your name They see you and your name on TV. They hear you on the radio. They've seen photos of you growing up as a kid. They think they know you without even having a conversation with you.
Yeah.
So what do most folks get wrong about Ben Mulroney?
I have friends who will say, or new colleagues, for example, who will say, "I work with Ben Mulroney," and then they will get from the people they know what they think they know about me, and then they get corrected by that person.
Right.
So I can't speak to it, but the experience of colleagues of mine and friends of mine who will then tell their friends they know me, I guess they're surprised that I'm as nice as I am.
I told you didn't know this, but I did your accounting when you were hosting Canadian Idol.
I feel very vulnerable when you say that.
I saw you.
You saw all his bills and expenses.
This is back in the day. I was still coming up.
Is there any $20 orange juices on there?
No $20 orange juices. But you do have this certain perception when you just see somebody on television or you hear them on the radio or what have you. You form this image without getting to know the individual. But have you ever looked at your Wikipedia page, by the way?
No.
You don't Google yourself every day like Travis does? Just to see what new can up there?
No, I think I have a healthy relationship with sort of the online world.
Yeah.
If I tweet anything, I don't have any notifications.
Well, you're really big on X, on Twitter.
Sometimes. No, it's sporadic. If there's something going on that moves me, but I'll jump in and then I'll jump out. I don't every now and then I might go back and forth for just a scotch, right? But by and large, I'll post what I need to post and I'll walk away. And I don't go check on it. Sometimes I'll forget, and I was like, why do I have 500 notifications?
Yeah.
And I'll forget about it. And same thing with Instagram. I use it for work now, and I post memes that make me laugh. That's it.
It can become very addictive. I know I was in a bit of a Twitter hole, and then I realized at a certain point, okay, Twitter is not real life.
Oh, it's not.
But I was reading your Wikipedia page. The second line is eldest son of Brian Mulroney. The Google thing, one of the first things that come up is Ben Mulroney divorce. So how do you get used to people judging you for better or for worse, even before you walk in a room and based on headlines and Wikipedia pages and Google searches?
I don't give a shit.
Did you develop that over time?
No, that's been pretty much. Listen, when I first started in TV, I was nervous. It was a new world. I didn't know what I was doing. I had imposter syndrome, all that stuff. But
you had imposter syndrome?
Well, yeah. I mean, I got into TV not because I wanted it. It wasn't a dream of mine ever being TV. It was because it was an option that presented itself, and it was better than the alternative. And the alternative was to be a very sort of middling, mediocre lawyer. And I didn't love the idea of being a lawyer. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try this. Maybe this will bring me joy. And I'll do it as long as they'll have me. And so, that was the plan. I promise you, I've never sought the spotlight. I don't like being looked at. It was never a plan of mine. But it was something turns out I was successful at, and I think I was pretty good at. But back to your question, since I got into TV, I've had sort of a policy. The only people whose opinions I care about are my parents, my family, my friends, and the people, my colleagues, and the people who cut my checks.
Yeah,
that's it. I don't care about anything else, because if I have them telling me that what I'm doing is right, I will be successful. I'll still have a job. Like if my boss says keep it up, I don't have to worry about being fired the next day.
Yeah,
right. I don't care what anyone says. I don't.
Well, that is healthy. I was having a conversation with my dad. I was in Calgary a little while ago, and he was saying Why are you so concerned about what other people are writing and saying about you? Like what you need to have some inner peace at some point and just be, concerned what the people closest to you.
Yeah. But if that circle, the people you trust, think about it. If the people you trust tell you you're doing something right, you're probably doing something right.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't know you, you'll never meet. If you do meet them, dollars to donuts, they will not speak to you the way they shout at you online because they do not have the courage of their convictions.
Oh yeah, big time.
They'll come up to you and say, "Very nice to meet you, Mr. Dan Rash."
But is your family like honest with you? Like his mom will call and be like, "Stop cursing.
Yeah.
You're so terrible."
Yeah.
Like my mom be like, "Your hair needs to be cut." Like, is your family honest with you? What's like the worst criticism you got from your family?
Oh, stop doing what you're doing. Everything that you did yesterday was wrong. No, I wrote a piece when I first started in media. I got offered a gig writing for the Toronto Sun.
Yeah.
And I wrote a piece once, and it was lazy writing. Like, it was lazy. I didn't know what to write that week. So I think I wrote an article about how I didn't know what to write that week. And I think it was I thought I was being clever. I was not. My dad was like, what the hell is this, Ben? This is garbage. This is garbage. My family, we tell it like it is. We call it Fortress Mulroney, and everybody on the inside has everybody's back.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. We told you, off camera that we're interviewing Xavier Trudeau.
Yeah.
Coming up. So I don't know if this is going to air before that or after that or air. I still have the TV Speak release. But it's interesting because, we were talking to him and his team, and it was very important to him that this conversation, which, we of course want to talk to him.
Yeah.
But he's concerned about conversation turning too much to his father.
That's fair.
Right? And so I wonder, that probably you had to deal with that for a while. And I wonder what your advice would be to him in terms of charting your own path and not being defined by your last name.
I think he's doing something at a young age that I didn't have that fire in me at his age to do anything. I was a kid. I read comic books. I pined for girls, and I didn't know how to talk to them.
Yeah.
I hung out with my friends. I played video games. Like that was me. He seems to have a goal, and he's pursuing it. So at his age, it makes sense that he wouldn't want to be defined by his dad. I fully recognize, and there's nothing anybody can say that I haven't already said about how I got my job. I'm fully self-aware. I know the door was open because of my last name. So when people think that's that
only gets you so far.
Yes, but people think that's a dig.
Yeah.
I not only am I fully aware of it, I respect and relish the fact that I'm oftentimes called. Today for coffee, I was at Starbucks and a woman called me Brian. I love that. I mean, what a gift that I remind people of my dad. Yeah. What a gift that strangers stop me to tell me a story about my dad that I don't know. And so his relationship with his dad's stature is different than mine, because he's really trying to cut out and do something on his own. I was too young, and even when I started in television, I appreciated that most of the people I would come into contact with had some sort of interaction with my dad. Why fight? For me, why fight against it? Mm. But I appreciate why he is.
But on the flip side of that, people also project negative feelings of their father, of your father, his father, and their policies, whatever they think of it, onto you. And it's the same with him, because he was telling us, people call him little carbon tax. They call him all sorts of names based on his dad's so he ends up having to feel like he's got to defend it, which I think maybe that's something you may relate to.
But he also doesn't take it on too much.
No.
He's joking about
yes, of course.
So I've had I'll depending on the situation online, I'll defend my one aspect of my dad's legacy. It's not my job to do so.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something. I've got a lot of issues with our former prime minister as a prime minister.
Yeah.
But as a person, he was always very nice to me. He was always very respectful to my dad. And he said one of the most insightful things to me after my dad died. I was on the phone with him, and he said, "You are not prepared for what is about to come. However you think the next few months of your life are going to be, you'd have no idea what's about to happen." And I honestly heard that, and I thought, well, that's easy coming from a Trudeau, who that press loved him. It gave him a free pass. Like I was like, yeah, sure. A conservative prime minister is not going to get anything like what Pierre Trudeau got. Yeah. He was so dead right. The amount of love and appreciation that came out after my dad died was something if I'd written 10 different scenarios for how that funeral and that week was going to go, what happened would not have been on that list. And so he was absolutely right. I had a new appreciation for the kindness of strangers. I had a new appreciation for, people, for the simple passage of time and what that can do for people's memories and their opinions. Yeah. So yeah, I've got time for him personally. And I'll say this, if I bring it back to Zav, I very much like when the algorithm throws a video at me with Zav and his dad, because that is a really relatable dynamic. Yeah. And I think we need more of that. Like if I don't know what Justin's plans are in the future, but if there is a public facing role for him in the future, I think stuff like that would be helpful for him.
Right. Weren't you friends with Justin Trudeau at some point?
Yeah, I mean,
are you still?
I haven't talked to him in a long time.
Yeah. He's in Davos or both Davos.
Yeah. Listen. I've got a job to do, just as he had a job to do. He never checked with me to see what I thought of his policies. Sure. Yeah. I'm not going to check with him to tell him what I think of his of the effect of his policies. I don't believe I
think it's a secret you disagree with a lot of it.
I disagree with a lot of it. Yeah. I disagree with a lot of it. I think the last 10 years generally have been a disaster. Mm-hmm. I don't know that you can point to a whole lot of parts of this country or our economy or sort of what it means to be Canadian and say, that this part improved and that's markedly better. Yeah. And so when people tell me I'm a rage baiter online, I challenge that. But I say, if you're not a little bit angry about where we are as a country today, there's something wrong with you. Mm-hmm. It means you don't care. Yeah. You don't care about this place if you think everything's fine. Nothing to see here. Don't gaslight me. That's bullshit. Yep. This place is in trouble. And this, I know we don't want to date this, but Mark Carney in Davos gave what I think a lot of people believe was a great speech. I believe it was a great speech. Yeah. But Michelle Rempel-Garner gave I think a constructive critique of that speech that was equally masterful. Mm-hmm. It was respectful. It acknowledged that what was in the speech was great, but a great speech doesn't help anybody. What matters is the actions that flow from it. Yeah. I am tired of giving people credit for an announcement or a ribbon cutting or a check that they give somebody. I want to see that the goal of the policy is achieved. And far too often in this country, we don't close the loop. Yeah. And it's been a hallmark of this Liberal Party for 11 years. Yeah. And after watching what happened for 11 years, I will give credit to somebody when they do something. I'm not giving credit to anybody for saying something anymore.
I'm smiling because it's interesting. Like you're going into hot take mode, which you weren't able to do when you were on eTalk.
Yeah, right. I tried, right? Like I every now and then they actually asked me to editorialize on the show, and I had a lot of fun.
eTalk.
Yeah, and I had fun doing that.
Okay, since we're talking about career, let's just
hot pad.
Yeah. So Canadian Idol.
Yeah.
eTalk.
Canadian Idol, eTalk. Yeah.
Your Morning. And then now.
And now the Ben Mulroney Show.
And then a little blip, which we'll talk about as well. But eTalk and then your Morning. So, I mean, when that whole thing kind of happened.
What whole thing?
The whole thing in terms of you leaving CTV and just leaving eTalk and all that stuff. I think folks don't know what we're talking about.
Well, let's just talk about it. Okay, so you left eTalk.
Yep.
At the time, deciding you were making space for other voices, it was under the context of some controversy is going on with your spouse at the time.
Okay. Yeah. Here's what happened.
Okay.
Here's what happened. First of all, I'm not sentimental. Okay. Yeah. I don't. If my house burnt down, the only thing that I would care about it are the people on the inside, my dog, and the one watch that my dad gave. Yeah. That's it. Burn the whole thing down. I will move on. I will rebuild. I won't think twice about it. When it became exceptionally clear to me
Mm-hmm.
that there was a program afoot by people that I trusted, that I thought were my colleagues, that they didn't want me there anymore.
Yeah.
As soon as I felt that and acknowledged that that was a reality, I had no problem leaving. None
This is on
whatsoever.
eTalk.
Yeah, none whatsoever.
Yeah.
You don't want me there, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. And so when the opportunity, we turned that into an opportunity
Yeah.
to pass the mic, to like do this big thing. So when I said that on TV, this is a great opportunity. I believed it, because I did not want to be at eTalk anymore. That was not my show.
Yeah.
A show that would treat someone like me, treat a colleague that way. Not my show anymore. Good luck to you.
More than ever, we need more Black voices, more Indigenous voices, more people of color in the media, as well as every other profession. And that is why I have decided to immediately step away from my role as anchor at eTalk to create space for a new perspective and a new voice.
And so when I said that on TV, I genuinely meant it. The irony was, I then, as soon as the show was done, I went to the bosses and I said, look, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. And by the way, there are records of me suggesting a version of what I did months before. I was like, we should elevate one of our Black voices on the show.
Yeah.
Here are my suggestions. That was no one telling me to do it. I did it, and those records exist. So that I was already thinking about that.
Yeah.
But whatever, I'm gone. Doesn't matter. We got to pass the mic. I want to make sure that this is positive for everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody. CTV, the halo effect of this for CTV could be fantastic. So I go upstairs and I tell the bosses, we need we need message discipline. Message discipline on this. Everyone around here should be reposting this.
Yeah.
Everybody. And not only did none of the people that I work with repost it, but on that very same day, my former colleague was outed as an actual racist.
Right.
And so that really stymied any wind that we could have had in our sails because of that.
Right. It's interesting because, what you went through during that period and what I went through recently are very different, but they're probably it was a tornado for me at the time. It still is swirling. And it's interesting because you find out who your friends are in moments like that.
Oh, yeah.
So what was that like?
Well, I didn't just find out who my friends were. I found out who my enemies were when I didn't think I had any enemies.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was shocked to learn the things I learned. And so
Because they're smiling to your face.
yeah, I mean, I was, and you called it a tornado. I call it a hurricane because I was given a lot of grief. Oh, Ben, you bended the knee to Black Lives Matter and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I was like, when the mob is coming for you, pitchforks and torches, they are a hurricane. You don't fight a hurricane. You get in the basement, you gird for the disaster that's coming, and when it passes, you hope to God you have something on which you can rebuild. There's no talking to a mob. There's no making sense of it. You've got your white hat, and you got your black hat, and so you just sit there and wait for it to pass, and then you see what you can do with what's left.
Weathering the storm can be difficult, though, right? Personally, I mean, for me.
But did you guys want to
me.
Did you guys just want to bury your heads for a bit and just
Well, I still do. I mean, I'm still in this massive thing, right, which is ongoing. And like we were saying before, it is like David versus Goliath, and sometimes, for me at least, I don't know what it was like for you. You probably have more strength than me. It is. It's difficult.
I'm sure it is. I mean, you're still in it. I moved on pretty quick. Like I said, I don't hold on to stuff. When something's done, it's done.
Yeah.
And so I pivoted to something else, which was an unmitigated disaster.
I don't remember. What did you do in that?
So I tried my hand at startup life, and I got
you did.
I got invited to co-found what I thought was a really meaningful e-commerce like a online digital bank.
Okay.
I would have had nothing to do with the finance of it, mercifully, because that's not my forte. So I really thought what I was pursuing was noble.
Yeah.
And I loved the work I was doing. And turns out, for lots of reasons, it was most of them at the leadership
Shit show?
level. It was vapor, but that saying that you learn more from your failures than you do from your successes.
Yeah.
It's trite, but it's right.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. I was able to then identify, I'm not cut out for startup life. Like that pure entrepreneur, that's not me. And I have the utmost respect for people who can do that.
Yeah.
But I also identified the types of people I want to work with because I now knew who not to work with.
Sure.
And I could see that. I see walking red flags now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's jump ahead to we skipped over like several sections, which we're going to circle back to. We had a plan, but Carmen yesterday was saying she's like it's bad. We'll just chat. Okay, so now you are with Chorus, and I guess the question is, well, there's a couple of questions here, but do you feel more free
Yes.
to say what you want to say?
Nobody tells me what to say. No one's ever said anything to me.
Can you ever be truly independent, though, if you are at a mainstream network?
I don't know that I'm looking to test what that means.
Yeah.
Like, let's see what I can get away with. That's
Right.
not how I'm built. I've got things I need to say, and they seem to fit well with the arena I'm playing in.
That's good.
And so, yeah, I'm not looking to test the fences.
Mm-hmm. They don't come and say,
No.
you said this.
No.
Let's tone it down.
No, I had a moment last week where I was on a roll saying something, and I caught myself. I was quite heated about something. I think it was about the garbage decision about renaming Sankofa Square and how it's turned into a cesspool, and then they're blaming Donald Trump. And I was on a roll, and I course corrected because I said something that I didn't mean to say. I literally said something I didn't mean to say.
Yeah.
So I course corrected at the beginning, and then at the end of it, I said I want to be clear. I did not mean to say that.
Sure.
And so I think I have a pretty good internal compass for like if I'm going off course.
But do you think that we have turned the corner when it comes to cancel culture, or is that still kind of a lingering thing in the background?
I think there are some things that people could say that warrant probably some consequences. I don't know what they are, but I can't imagine living in a world where you can do and say whatever you want anywhere all the time and not have somebody come at you and say you actually caused damage with what you said.
Yeah.
So I don't know what those things are. I surely would never have anybody on my show and hold and want to. I want people to come on my show and say whatever they think matters to them.
Sure.
And I don't want to be an agent for cancellation.
I don't know if it's cancel. I feel like things always, they go one way and then they try to come back another way. So people are like really, at one point, really, again, politically correct, against being too woke.
Yeah.
And then it goes the other where it's like, okay, total absolute freedom of speech, say what you want, and that's what you're getting into.
Yeah,
right?
so are we swinging back the other
I don't know
direction?
that we've ever lived in a place of total absolute
but
freedom
there are people
of speech.
that are going that way, right? The people that sometimes get platformed now, it's shifted a bit, right? Like it's acceptable in terms of what they say is shifted.
Well, but I disagree with the idea of I can't believe you platform that guy. It's what you do with the platforming of them. Like we hear it in the United States when they have who was it, Steven Crowder, who actually has done some really. Yeah. I think his conversations in the barbershop. Have you seen that? I think that's really important stuff. Yeah. Right? And you might not agree with them, but to watch that conversation happen, like that would not have happened a few years ago. But him having Nick Fuentes on and just saying, are you a racist? No, I'm not a racist. Are you a this? Do you hate the Jew? Without the pushback, then platforming someone like that, you could say it's dangerous because you're allowing him to present as someone who isn't what he actually is.
But this is the thing now as well that we are finding as we are doing this independent platform where we're attempting to have some semblance of balance. We'll have folks from the right, we'll have folks from the left, we'll do conversations with folks that aren't political at all. But the algorithm, it seems like, is based on outrage, shock and awe.
Yeah.
So is there can we still get balance when that is what the media world and landscape looks like now online?
Yeah, I think you gotta I think you got to figure it out. I mean, look, a guy like Ben Shapiro doesn't trade in outrage. He trades in. He's the most measured human being. Like he's almost like a Vulcan in how he speaks. Right? He doesn't scream. He doesn't get angry. He just speaks more quickly.
Right.
And so and he's very popular. Right. There are some people get. Michael Knowles is another conservative. He doesn't ever scream at anybody. He smirks at them. That makes you want to punch him in the face. But he's so. I think those who can't properly advocate for their position, might resort to outrage, might resort to rage baiting. But I think that's because they can't do what the other guys are doing.
So you're in talk radio, but you also recently took on a temporary position hosting the West Block. And if people don't know what the West Block is, it's a political affairs show. Typically, in the past, it's been hosted by journalists. You've said you're not a journalist, so
I think words matter.
Yeah,
and I think when somebody says, "Oh, that's a job for a journalist," okay, well, which journalist?
Right.
Because I know plenty of lazy journalists. Yeah. I know plenty of people call themselves journalists, and they are nothing but activists.
Yes.
So that's a lack of self-awareness that should disqualify you from a lot of jobs. Yeah. In other words, journalism is made up of people.
Sure.
Right? And the most responsible of them are great journalists. Yeah. The ones who have the most wherewithal are great journalists. But people have failings. They're some terrible, just like they're terrible commentators, and they're terrible mothers, and they're terrible fathers. Like this idea of the intrinsic nobility of journalism is, to me, it's like, well, hold on. So long as I hold myself to a high bar,
right,
and I pursue the truth as I see it, and I don't report on innuendo, I struggle to see why I can't do this job.
I mean, okay. You have had, we've gone through, I don't know how many jobs we've gone through already. eTalk, Canadian Idol, Startup, West Block, Ben Mulroney Show. Politics, have you put that one aside as well? I saw this thing where Doug Ford.
I was at that lunch. I was at a lunch
were you there?
Where, that's, okay, here's, Premier Ford said, he said you should run for mayor.
Yeah.
Off track.
Politics out of the picture?
Well, I've always said the only I would ever run for would be mayor of Toronto.
Why?
Because I love municipal politics.
Why?
I've heard your brother's name a lot on that one.
For mayor of Toronto?
Well, for several jobs.
I got old knees. Sorry.
If you're just listening and not watching, Ben is in a tracksuit, track pants, and he's rubbing his knees, stretching it, saying he's old.
I don't know what the heck.
I think he's
I'm an old man.
Are you ducking? Is this like evading the question?
Are you ducking?
No. I literally got this thing in my knee. No, I wouldn't duck the question. I would love answering it.
Okay.
So
you're announcing your run.
No. I would absolutely run for mayor one day.
You would?
Yeah, of course I would.
When?
Why not now?
Because I just started my show and I like it, and I think I'm affecting. I'm part of a conversation that I'm glad to be part of.
You could do that at City Hall too. You could be part of a conversation.
I don't want to do it at City Hall right now. There's a good person running. I like Brad. John Tory's has had a lot of accomplishments as well. But personally, I think it's probably time for a change, to turn the page and try something new in a new generation. I like Brad a lot. I like what he stands for. And I do think that there's a group of people in this city that have probably been activated, who've been sitting on the couch at every municipal election saying, it doesn't matter. Well, then you see what happens when you don't pay attention. You get the Chris Moises of the world and the Ozma Maliks of the world.
Yeah. I've worked in all three levels of government. I think, to your point, municipal politics touches every part of people's lives, right? Is it most directly? Yeah. But it's a grind being the mayor of Toronto. Like, we talked to Olivia Chow, it's like she's nonstop. She has no time for personal life. Yeah. Really.
Which is why I don't know why John Tory would want to jump back in, because it is.
He is built for it, right? He wakes up at 3 a.m.
That's right.
He rides the subway, reads the newspaper. And he goes to bed at 10 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night. He's built for that.
So Toronto is broken right now, in your opinion?
Certainly not doing well.
Yeah.
Certainly not doing well.
Is Canada broken?
Look, this idea that is there are aspects that are broken.
Sure.
Absolutely. Do I believe in the promise of this country? Yes. That's why I get angry.
Yeah.
And I resent anybody saying that if you don't subscribe to their view of things, then you are somehow lesser of a Canadian than them, right? Look, I think the idea that we are to release the accused on the least onerous bail conditions possible, is garbage. That we had a prime minister that said that we have no core identity, that we are a post-national state, is such a destructive thing that he said, because from that idea flows so much of the nonsense of this kind. We let people come in and we don't care if they join the tribe that is Canada. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I have a real problem with that.
Yeah, we talked to Pierre Poilievre about this very issue, right? I mean, on immigration, do you think we've essentially jumped the shark? And is there putting the genie back in the bottle? How does that happen?
Yeah. But I will say that we used to have a consensus on immigration that everyone could agree on, left to right, up to down, didn't matter. Everybody agreed on it. We were proud of it, and I resent that the previous government effed it up so much that you have people like me who are so proud of the immigrant experience of this country, of which my mother is one. That I'm offended that they have taken someone who was such a staunch and firm believer in it, and they've turned me into a cynic. Like, shame on them for have taken, and there are people like us and saying, "Oh, we got slow immigration. Oh, this new cohort that came in, they're not assimilating." I'd never used that word before because it was something that happened naturally, and now we're talking about these things in a way that we were forced into because they took advantage of, like the pendulum swung way too far in the other direction.
Okay, so you've said you wouldn't rule out running for mayor at some point. If you have 3 kids, if they came to you and said they wanted to get into politics, would you advise them to do it, or would you say no?
No, of course I would. Of course I would. Yeah,
Isn't it so fraught right now? Isn't there a lot of hate that you get? I'm sure you get a lot of hate on your radio show, but would you want your kids to be in the political atmosphere right now?
Heck of a test of their mettle, right?
Yeah.
You want to go into it? It's a blood sport. Strap on a helmet. It's going to get rough. If you're ready for that, go for it.
So how old are your kids?
My sons are 15 and my daughter's 12.
12, 15. Oh, man.
Right.
Yeah, my oldest is 14.
Yeah.
And it's nuts. They're not even the same people. Like,
my sons are not, they're regular 15-year-olds. They don't have...
I have 3 girls, though.
Yeah.
Girls are different.
Oh, yeah, they are built different.
Yeah.
I blinked and my daughter was a young woman.
Yeah.
I do not like that.
I remember your little boys. They came on the set of CP24. You were there one time. Actually, they were running around kind of the newsroom while you were doing an interview. It's interesting. They must watch you on television. They must hear you on the radio.
Do they? My kids never watch me.
They apparently, because all my kids have Instagram now.
Yes.
Apparently, I pop up on their
Snapchat.
feed. Yeah, I pop up on their feed, and so they'll watch little clips. But just a couple of days ago, I was sitting with my son John.
Yeah.
And poor Brian, he was passed out on the couch, just asleep, like 6 p.m. So John and I are just sitting there, and we're talking. I don't know how it came up, but I was like, I don't think you've ever seen me like as a younger man. Right. He said, let me show you something. This is me from 25 years ago, and I started up Canadian Idol. And he said, well, you look so much younger. And I was looking for some really embarrassing clips, like when I was a little chubbier and far more tanned, and I'm wearing like the ridiculous shoes that they had me wear on that show. My shoes look like wizard shoes. And I couldn't find any of those clips. He was like, "It's fine, Dad."
They were part of like one of the biggest wedding, like televised events in history.
Oh, yes.
Do they ever, like, you're talking about looking back, do they remember anything about that?
Remember it. They do. They don't. I'm sure later on in life, it'll come up and someone will say, "Oh my God, I didn't realize that this was you." I'm sure they'll have fun with it then, and they don't really care. They don't care. I mean, they're kids. They had fun doing it, and they've moved on to Fortnite.
Do you remember that day?
I do. I remember that day. I remember the day before where I found out where I was sitting. I was like, Jesus, I'm gonna.
You're in all the photos.
Where did you sit?
Like I was right there.
Oh, right in.
I was like, the people opposite me were the royal family.
Right.
But the first thing I did was, okay, where are the cameras? And I saw where I was like, shit.
TV person.
I said, I'm going to be on camera this whole time. So I made a point. I was like, I'm not bringing my phone with me.
Right.
Because in awkward moments where you don't know if you're supposed to talk, you'll just pick up your phone. And
yeah.
If my mother sees me on my phone in this church, she will kill me. So I left my phone in the sort of the party bus that brought us from our hotel to thing. And Jess was doing her thing during the ceremony. She wasn't sitting with me.
Right.
And the kids were at the front. And I couldn't see them. So I didn't see anything until I get in the car and I get my phone.
Right.
And my mom says, she said, Ben, what is a meme? I was like, well, it's a moment that sort of captures something, and this captioned. And I said, why? I said, well, apparently Brian is a meme. I was like, I don't know what you talk. So I looked.
This is your son.
Yeah, it was a picture of him with, the bride's face in the foreground and his face, and he's got a big smile on his, like a big erupting smile, the most joyous smile you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I asked him why, like, what was that all about?
Mm-hmm.
And he said he'd never heard trumpets before. And then when they walked in, he thought it was so cool. Huh. So that was really sweet, cute.
There's so much interest in, that period, that friendship, and all that stuff. Do you want to say anything about where things are?
It's Jess's story to tell.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't speak for her.
Yeah.
So if she wants to ever talk about it, but from what I understand, they're on positive terms.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. We end on this thing called the rapid fire.
Okay.
So,
what are the rules?
You just have to answer without thinking.
First thing comes to your mind.
Marvel or DC?
Damn it. Okay, I grew up with DC, but I have so many wonderful memories of what Marvel has given me with my sons.
Yeah.
So for the time being, I'm going to say Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not
a comic book guy, but
so looking forward to what's happening with DC. So looking forward to James Gunn is the right guy to do it. But I've got memories with my sons. I've been taking them to the movies since they were 2. I taught them to go to the movies when they were 2.
Are they comic book guys too?
Yes.
Have you gone through the whole multiverse?
Oh God, every
really?
one of them.
Like in order?
Yes. Oh, the whole thing.
Wow. Okay, which of your siblings is your favorite?
Oh. Fortress Mulroney, all of them. All of them. Every one of us has an aspect of my dad, like something that made him special. We all have like a fraction of that, and we all need each other.
Okay, you were saying earlier, this is not in the rapid fire, so this doesn't count. But you were saying earlier that they're all kind of pretty blunt with you. Who is the hardest line when it comes to, being critical, calling you and saying, "Hey, what's going on here?"
I think my sister.
Yeah.
I think my sister, and she's, she was blunt with me yesterday. She's like, I'm just going to tell you something because I know you don't because you could take it.
What's a belief you've changed your mind on?
This can't be a rapid fire. This requires thought.
I thought you.
So I was very bullish on the British Columbia's attempt to replicate the Portuguese model of drug decriminalization. I was very excited about that. I'd followed the Portuguese model, very excited about that. Yeah. And to see the disaster it was, because like so many things in this country, they love to make an announcement, but you don't do the one thing to close the loop, which is with all the money that you're saving on policing and prosecuting and incarcerating, you're supposed to take some of that money and build out mental health resources, a new pathway of mental health justice, if you will. And they did none of that stuff. And so what you had was exactly what we got. So I don't know if my opinion, I don't know if I changed my mind on it, but the program disappointed me.
All right. The institution that needs most reform.
The most pressing is our judicial. I think we need bail reform. We need a change the Youth Criminal Justice Act. We got to build more jails. We got to figure out what's going on with our judges. Because there's some hot takes coming from all sorts of levels of the judiciary.
One word to describe Mark Carney right now.
I can't.
We can give him 3.
I can't do. Okay, there you go. Meeting the moment with a question mark.
That's several words, but okay.
That's 3. You said, that's 3.
Meeting the moment.
No.
With
Meeting the
question-
moment.
Is media broken or just exposed?
The system needs an overhaul.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a tremendous future for content in Canada of all types: media content, entertainment content, sports content. There's a lot. There's documentary content, podcasts, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great. But if we're stuck in the sort of in the machine that we built 70 years ago, we're going to still churn out product that isn't reflective of what we need or what we want. There's an exposure that's happened for a certain type of journalism or journalist or outlet, if you will. A reckoning will come. But that day is not today.
In 2026, Canada needs more.
In 2026, Canada needs more. God, this trick is these questions demand, like, at least in my head, got to come up with the perfect thing to say.
No.
Like, it's got to be the best thing that's ever been said.
No, it's like those cards where they hold up something.
Oh, here.
Say
Okay, you know what?
see.
In 2026, Canada needs more moments that allow us to feel the way the Blue Jays made us feel at the end of the season.
That's
True.
nice.
Yeah.
We did feel unified. If you could go back in time and tell your 10-year-old self something, what would you say?
I would say have more confidence in yourself. And when you finally get a paycheck, don't spend it all on the stupid stuff that you're going to buy. You don't need that flat screen TV.
Okay.
Ben
Ben,
Mulroney,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
If you like this episode and want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thanks for listening and watching, and we'll see you again next time.